And I am wondering, is that what's happened to advertising as a result of online? Has online disrupted traditional media, not for the recession, but permanently? And here's just one example. So this slide, we didn't get it translated here, but you can quickly glance. When you take a look at the time spent on TV, we spend about 37% of our media hours watching TV, and it gets about 32% of ad spending. That kind of makes sense to me. Internet, we spend 38% of our time, but gets 8% of ad dollars. That doesn't make sense to me. Newspaper gets about 8% of our time and 20% of our ad dollars. That's got to jump out at people, right? This is, and by the way, there are reasons why maybe you'd rather have a newspaper ad. As you can see with radio, they don't always one-to-one match. But here's the challenge, as I see it. That's a Pepsi stand at the Super Bowl from last year. Pepsi spent, I believe the figure is $22.5 million on Super Bowl advertisements last year. Does anybody know what Pepsi is spending on the Super Bowl this year? I'm sorry, did you say a zero? Is that to the left or the right of the decimal place? Not a dime. $0 on Super Bowl TV ads. But they are spending millions of dollars online. They're spending millions of dollars on Facebook. They're building outdoor advertisements like this kind of stage stuff. But TV ad? No. They don't see the ROI. So the challenge that I have when I talk to publishers, print, magazine, newspaper, when I talk to radio execs, when I talk to TV execs, when I talk to all the people in the traditional media industry, is they have this thought in their head that when the recession's over, advertising is going to come back for us and it's going to be fabulous. And the data is not supporting that. Online is continuing to grow. Online is between 8 and 10%. Here's the slide. This year, on a $600 billion global market, online's roughly 10. Ballpark. In the future, if my theory about innovative disruption is possible, not only will online go to some much higher number. 50 is completely arbitrary. It could be 32. It doesn't really matter. If it goes from 10 to 32, it's still a problem. But the key point is that it is disrupting the pricing in the online market. At Deloitte, we already know this. The example I would use is from Deloitte Predictions here last year. We built a social media campaign for tens of thousands of dollars that delivered ROI for us, for predictions, orders of magnitude higher than what a $100,000 newspaper ad or radio or TV ad would have done. In response, of course, the media industry is cutting its prices very aggressively. Full-page magazine ads are down between 50 and 75% from where they were 2 years ago. Radio ads are being discounted. TV prices are down. And we think this is not an aberration due to the recession. We believe, and we can't be sure about this one. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Deloitte's wrong. We've done a lot of research. I have so far not talked to anybody in the traditional media industry who says I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but they think that I could be right. So in other words, not only will media lose a significant portion of market share, but they will have a smaller piece of a much smaller pie. That's due to the fact that the elasticity of demand for advertising isn't infinite, right? If you're a consumer goods company and you spend 18% of your revenues on advertising, if advertising gets 90% cheaper, you don't run 10 times as many ads. It just doesn't work that way. You spend a little more, you buy a few more ads, but your total ad spend comes down. I'll use the telecom world as an example. Telecom companies used to spend roughly 22% of their revenues on CapEx every year. As a result of that disruption that affected Nortel and everybody else, now they're spending like 14 or 16. So I think we may see the same thing. The total global advertising spend, I believe, could be poised to drop. At this point, that's it for the official predictions. However, we did a really fun thing this year. We talked about, that was 40 minutes exactly. Okay, good. Given that's the first time I've ever given that talk and it's supposed to be 40 minutes, I'm pretty happy with that.